So, NFL trade deadline went down. The Jets cleaned house in a dramatic move. They traded away two of their best defensive players, All-Pro corner that you talked about earlier, Sauce Gardner to the Indiana Colts, and All-Pro defensive tackle Quentin Williams to the Dallas Cowboys. And in return, the Jets did receive multiple first-round picks in their return. What are your thoughts on these quote-unquote blockbuster trades?
I mean, I think I'll start off with the Jets. I think the Jets are doing exactly what they should be doing. I think these are both amazing moves by the Jets. You're not going anywhere. You started off 0-6 or something like that. You're happy to have just gotten one win, so that lets you know how the season is going. Um, and I think it's one of those where it's like, okay, I don't think the timeline of definitely not Quentin Williams. I don't think he fits the timeline of the team anymore. And Sauce, you just paid him. So it's like, how how long is it going to take until we're good? So it makes sense to like get off of all that salary and be able to just spend that money elsewhere in free agency, trying to bring in other veterans or other young players or trade for players. And then also it's like for Sauce, you got two first round picks. For Quinn Williams, you got a first round pick and a second round pick. And you also got AD Mitchell in the Sauce trade. So yeah, I mean I think the Jets are it's time to, just try and bring in new players. And from the Colts side, I think it's a really good move because the defense up front has been pretty good, but their pass defense has been really bad. So now you bring in someone who can, play opposite of I can't remember his name, but opposite of their other corner, Charvarius Ward. Um, and hopefully reclaim, some of what he had his first 2 years in the league. These last 2 years, he hasn't been as elite, but I'm a firm believer of, and of course we'll see. But one, he's still young, so it's not like he hasn't had any injury or anything like that. So it's not like he physically can't do it, or at least he should still physically be able to do it. I feel like it's more of a symptom of like, damn, this team fucking sucks. And it can be hard for any person in general. It can be hard to be motivated when you're in a really bad situation. And then also on top of that, when you're the only good player in that secondary, it means a lot more is on your shoulders. Um, so yeah, I just think that now he'll be in a better position, hopefully to shine and hopefully recapture some of that. And if he's, just plays at an A-minus level or something like that, then I think that it'll have been a good trade. And for the Cowboys, I know I kind of spoke on it earlier. I just don't really get it. Um, yeah, I just don't really get it because this year you're not going to be doing anything. You're not. No team like, okay, you can still make the playoffs, but I would have to look it up. I highly doubt any team that started the year the way they have has ever made it to the Super Bowl. And of course, you can always tell yourself that like we'll be the first to do it, but that's not going to happen. So it's just weird to me. Like I get Quentin Williams' salary is less than Micah's, but it's weird that you would get rid of Micah for basically a lesser player. Um, and especially like giving up some of that draft capital that you got to get him. Basically, like the way that the trades happen, they basically traded equal value, close to equal value for what they got for Micah, which doesn't make sense because Quentin Williams is nowhere near the level of player that Micah is. So I just think it's more Cowboys being Cowboys. Like, of course, they want to do something to just be in the spotlight, and we were a big part of the trade deadline, whatever, whatever. But Jerry Jones himself had a quote where he was like, "I don't think that we're one player away on defense. So why would you, if that's the case, why are you giving up your first round pick to get someone, especially honestly that you could have got? It would have made more sense to do this trade in the offseason, I feel like. But doing it right now really felt like the Cowboys being the Cowboys of like we need to be in the headlines.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely bolstered their D line for now, but like you said, they're already 3-5-1 outside of the Commanders. Obviously, like they're they're not going to catch up and win their division. And then even if you look at the conference itself, there's so much high win percentages for those top seven, eight spots that it's just like, what was the point of this? And like you said, like that's not going to solve anything long term with your money issues. Y'all might as well just try to build from the draft. So I don't know what they were kind of thinking with that as well too. So it's just Jerry Jones being Jerry Jones, trying to make a splash, trying to stay relevant, but that does nothing for you whatsoever. So, like you said, that joint was pointless. With the Jets, like you said as well too, they seem like another franchise that's quote unquote cursed. They really haven't done anything relevant to us in like the last decade or so. Try to get Aaron Rodgers, went through a bevy of quarterbacks. Obviously, Justin Fields is not looking great, but obviously the organization and that team isn't great as well too. But it's good that they have first round picks. So obviously this definitely ensures that they're going after a quarterback. Definitely ensures that they're going to have salary cap moving forward. And maybe they can build something special moving forward. So I know you Jets fans are upset, be seeing y'all cry every single week. Maybe this is something that can help you guys a little bit more. And as far as the Colts, man, you're essentially, 7-2, leading the AFC South. I think you're in second place in the division. So by this move, getting Sauce Gardner, a couple things. This move, like you said before, they have a solid front four. This addresses their pass defense to compete with these offenses. And this is also telling me that you guys are not only in win now, you guys, because Sauce Gardner's contract is pretty hefty as well, too, for a cornerback. You guys believe in Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
So they must have faith in Daniel Jones, whose play has exceeded expectations, and he has a one-off. I'll give him he showed me a little bit of regression. I was a little cause for concern, but to play devil's advocate, to have 4 or 5 turnovers and only lose by one possession, he can sleep a little bit better at night as well too. So we'll see how he moves forward. But you kind of needed that trade as well too, because I mean, just looking at their schedule, they must feel confident. They beat the Broncos this year. They only lost to the Rams by one possession, and then after that, they took care of the Chargers, who were all these are playoff teams. Like I said, they had a little hiccup with the Steelers, so you got to feel a little bit confident. But this schedule coming down the stretch is going to be crazy. I'm looking at it right now. They play the Falcons. Obviously, the Falcons are 3-5, but they're at least going to be competitive and give you a run for your money. Then after that, they go up against the Texans, who have a top five defense. And then from there, you play another playoff team with the Jaguars. You go up against the Seahawks. You play the 49ers. Then you play the Jaguars again. And then finish it off the Texans defense. We don't know. We don't know if they're going to be tanking or trying to see where other teams in the AFC are at as far as rankings and try to beat you just to get you out. So this is going to be pivotal for them. So it was a trade that was essential. We're going to see what the Colts do, but the trade deadline, I thought it was going to be more moves made for other teams. I mean, there was, but nothing crazy as these. But that's about it. I mean, any other teams you kind of want to talk about? I feel like those were kind of like the highlighted ones.
Yeah, those are definitely the big level. I mean, I liked the Rashid Shaheed trade for the Seahawks because they really just have Jason, it feels like. So this is kind of like a deep threat that can open up the other side of the field and maybe make things even easier for them. Um, and I like Draymond Jones for the Ravens. It was like a small pickup, but something that I think can just potentially help them on their defense.
Okay.